how can you get your business and AI teams working together? It's the age-old question in any company. And today we'll take another stab at this question to prepare you for AI innovation that's only getting faster and more impactful. So let's jump right Hey, welcome to What's the Buzz, where leaders and hands-on experts share how they have turned hype into outcome. Today we'll talk about bridging the gap between AI and the business. And who better to talk about it than someone who's actively doing that? Camila Manera. Hey, Cami, thank you so much for joining.
No, thank you. I'm very happy to be here. We have the amazing time together in a lot of conference, so I'm very happy to share this space with you and all of your audience.
Fantastic. Hey, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about yourself, who you are and what you do?
Yes, so I am from Buenos Aires, Argentina. If you don't know, it's very south of the world. We are in that part of the continent. I am a graphic designer as a profession, but I have been changed to work in AI for the last 8 years. I started my career working for the Walt Disney Company in the creative team. And one day I woke up and say, okay, I want to study AI before ChatGPT launched. So it was 8 years ago. In that time, it was very hard to have courses and places to study AI. So I went to India to study there. And I have an idea of how the Disney could use data and AI so I have changed from the creative team to being a data scientist. I was in Disney for more than 7 years. We launched a product that won the Best of Disney award in technology in data and AI worldwide. And after that, I resigned and I have go to co-found my startup of AI applied to sports, to football or soccer if you are in the United States. So we have developed a product to help clubs and agents to find the correct player for their squad and their teams. And now I also have gone from the startup, and I am working with a lot of companies around the world to help them use data and AI to empower their business and also the careers and the objectives that they have.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm super excited to have you on the show today. And like I said, it's been a while since we've been on some of the conferences and panels together. So I'm excited that you have made time to be with us today. Now, folks, for those of you in the audience, if you're just joining the stream, drop a comment in the chat where you're joining us from. I'm always curious to see how global our audience is. And also don't forget to get your copy of the AI Leadership Handbook, so you can learn how you can run AI successfully in your business and turn hype into outcome. Now, with that out of the way, Camila, I remember I forgot to brief you on this. So there's a little surprise here. There's a little icebreaker. And that icebreaker is a little game called In Your Own Words. So I'll read you this question, and you have 60 seconds to answer it. I'm curious, what's the first thing that comes to mind and why, in your own words? Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Perfect. So if AI were let's see, if it were
a dog.
Hang on. What's the magic word? If it were come on. If it were a book, what would it be? 60 seconds on the clock. Go.
Oh, I think that it has a lot of sense with AI, to be a book because of their super intelligence and all the information that it has. If it would be a book, it would be a little bit limited because it would have just that information and that's all. So I think that I think it would be a word that it's called like transformation. I think I will go with that
Good.
answer.
Yes. We'll let that count too. There's a lot of transformation happening, and sometimes even a whole book of words that doesn't get across what we actually need to convey, which in many ways brings us to today's topic as well, right? It seems that there are so many words and sentences and concepts being discussed and exchanged between business and AI teams and vice versa, but even though they seem to be speaking the same language, evidently they're not, right? A lot of times we see that, hey, the technology guys, they just want to play around with the latest stuff, and on the other hand, the business doesn't even know what's new and what's hip and what's cool and what we can do. But it's all a matter of bringing those two together, right? So when 80 to 85% of AI projects fail or don't deliver the value, and we see AI is getting cheaper and cheaper, and that will create more demand, right? I also feel we'll see even more pressure on AI teams to do something with AI, to deliver projects. But if they're not already communicating well enough and understanding what are the requirements and what we're actually building, right, that just leads to more failures, I assume. So what issues do you see in your work, or have you previously seen in your work?
Yes, so I think like the problem that most companies are having like right now is that these kind of profiles or personalities inside a company that I like to call that like the AI translator. So you have a lot of teams that have a lot of problems and have perhaps a lot of ideas, but previously it was most common that you call like the IT team or the data team, and when they want to take like advance in some projects, like they don't know where to call. If there's a person inside the company that carry on like the AI strategy or the projects, so I think like that is like a problem like in the starting point of any project. And from the other side, perhaps if they call to the technology team or the data team, they have like a roadmap or a timeline. And when they want that project to jump in, they say, okay, let's talk like in 1 year. And now we are not in a moment that we can like wait for 1 year. So I think that, or my vision in this kind of moment that we are with the AI hype and also all the things that are going on, is that like we need to have like somebody with AI skills and knowledge in every team inside the company. So that would help a lot to be like more independent, to try to carry on their own projects, because now with all the tools that we have, we can have that type of a structure, no? So the sales team perhaps have like somebody like with the understanding of AI inside the team, and they would like go like much faster. They will have independence, and also like somebody inside the company that carry on the AI strategy. So I think like not having that in the table of conversations and decisions now makes like teams go a little bit slow, and also like being a little bit afraid of what to do, what not to do, if they can use tools or not, if they're secure or not. So I think that we are in that moment of the process, and without like this kind of profiles inside the company, I think the adoption is going to be a little bit more like slow that we all want to do, because we want to go like do a lot of things and go much faster, but we need to think about the culture, the teams, and the structure, and how they adapt to all the new things that are going on.
I think that's a really important point that you're making, right? There's so much push and so much pressure to do something with AI, and just seeing how companies and leaders have evolved over the last 3 years when it comes to AI, from what is this generative AI thing to we need an AI strategy, to let's pilot a bunch of things and see what we can actually build, and if there's something meaningful and useful out of it, to now actually saying, hey, show me the money. But it's not just show me the money, it's also I need to invest in training, in that cultural change, like you're saying, to bring people along on their journey. It's not just about giving them a tool or giving them a new tool and expecting them to be more productive the next day. So
yes, I think there is like the keynote to have a very solid idea and vision, and not to do things all like separate, but have like a vision where you want to company to take, and really create a AI journey for the company. I think that is my desire, but it's a little bit difficult to
so
achieve
I'm
it.
curious there. What are you seeing in South America? What are you seeing in Argentina, maybe specifically? I know that the continent is very innovative, in very forward leaning when it comes to these technologies. There are lots of opportunities. What are you seeing when it comes to AI adoption?
Yes, so I think we are a very high talent region, and also high talent country. I have the chance to meet like people, like very young people with very strong AI and also technology skills. But I think we need to be a little bit more like potentiated and expanded in what we do, because in the region has not much resources, and things are more like difficult for us to achieve. So everything is a little like harder for us. When I work with companies, like trying to help them achieve their AI goals, they all start perhaps like the last year to with like something very small to be like on trend, but they were not thinking like in this long vision project. So I think now this year it's changing a little bit, and we are more in the year of implementation. But last year we were more like in, okay, I want to listen, I want to learn, I want to go a little bit more like slow in the implementation or a process. But this year it's changing a little bit, and now where companies reach me out or something, they say, I want to do. No, that is the biggest change I'm seeing. So I think that it's very good for not just Argentina but the region, because we are going to start seeing a lot of use cases, products, and projects, more hands-on than last year that was more like experimental. There's a very like bad statistics that for like 10 projects of AI, just 3 go into production. So I think this year we're going to go like perhaps from 10.5. That's good, because we are going to go a little bit up in numbers. But yes, we are I think a very like passionate country and also region, but we need to create more ecosystem and also more connections. I am working a lot in that in the country and the region to have meetups, to learn from others, to listen other stories, in order to like incentivize the region to achieve this step. Because I think if we make that, we are going to have a lot of business opportunities, and we have very good professionals here in Argentina and also in
I
Latam.
think that's really exciting, right? And I think that speaks also to the broader community, and how you can bring people along on their journey, not just within your company, but to your point, within your region, within your country, to get them excited about this too. Now, look, I come from a tech background myself, and it's super exciting to see what a new kind of technology can do for you and where its limitations are. I'm wondering, how do you recommend then also in your conversations that leaders and their peers work together with the business on these AI projects?
Yes, so I think we are developing a very old school ability that is listening. I think that we are like entering the era of being very good listeners, because it's very like very human, like the first part of implementing an AI project, that it's like sitting. For example, my experience when I um, create the first AI project in Disney was I sit with a lot of people and just listen their problems. Okay, and I make good questions, and over that you start like understanding and going like very deep in the problem the other like team or person has. And that is not any tech, it's just human tech, to really have that ability. Because once you understand like in all the layers that when you have a first conversation with somebody and they told, okay, this is my problem, but you make a lot of different questions and you start like understanding that the problem is other problem that they have, but they didn't realize that they have it. So I think that it's like the starting point of anything, and also regarding like business problems and also leadership strategies. And once you have that, then like now understanding how's the pipeline, the roadmap, the project, it's the easiest part, no? But you have to work also like in the culture, in the communication, in like how you are going to communicate the changes that these perhaps projects it's going to take, and all the more like the human side of implementation. I think there it's now the biggest challenge that we're having, because we are like saying a lot of people that forget your 20 years job and what you have been doing, and now you have to do things completely different. So I think that we have to be very careful in that part of transformation, because like for this like last month, it's chaotic. No, we receive a lot of information, the models based, the everything, and for users, final users, it's very confusing. No, so I think now leaders and business have to like come a little bit, create the vision, think of the culture, and after that, the implementation, I think it's going to go very smooth in the process.
That sounds great, right? And again, emphasizes you need to work together. You really need to start to listen and understand what is it that my stakeholders are actually looking for. How can we help them improve their business, improve their process, and help them work better and more efficiently? And I think, sometimes we tend to forget that in all of that mix of technology and the excitement on one side, or the fear and concern on the other. But hey, we're actually just people working together and trying to figure this out. But it also wouldn't be an episode in 2025 if we didn't talk about the industry's favorite buzzword of the year, Agentic AI. How do you see that making things better or worse in that collaboration?
I think it's going to be very good for businesses, because I think like for the last years, like AI, it's evolving very fast, because first we talk about AI, then we talk about Gen AI, then we have the GPT, 𝗵𝗵𝗫, 𝗵𝗵𝗫𝗫, DeepSeek, and all the language model battle. And now we have another thing that is Agentic AI. So if we think now, like going backwards in the line, it all makes sense, no? And previously we talked about data, no? Because we need the data. Now that we have the data, we can develop models. Now that we develop models, we can create new stuff. And now we can make them operate for ourselves. I think that if, for example, we have a lot of different like needs in the day as professionals, if we can have like, for example, different agents to resolve different kind of problems, we all wanted to love that, no? I think because, for example, and also because now we have to be very like complete professionals, because we are professionals. We have to study a lot because things are changing all the time. We have to develop content. We are here doing that also. So I think like the professional scope has changed a lot, and we do so much stuff than before, thanks for all this technology that it's evolving very fast. So I think that if every human can have their own like circle of agents resolving things that we don't want, it's going to be great. There, it's where we start like putting the limits. No, okay, these things yes, these things no. I want to go faster in this point because I don't like it, but perhaps other people like to do that. So that's why I think it's good, because we are going to like put our limits, develop depending what we enjoy of our day by day and what we not. That is my vision, because I'm very optimistic about AI and things, but other people is going to say, okay, no, this is going to take a lot of jobs and that. It's not my point of view, because I think that we drive the tech and not the tech drive us. So I think, although I don't see a lot of implementation here in the region of agents, but I think like for the next month, it's going to be definitely like the game changer of this year.
Yeah. By the way, I must say I share your sentiment around adoption, right? There's a lot of talk in the market. It seems everybody that's been doing some kind of machine learning all of a sudden did AI, then they did Gen AI, now they're doing Agentic AI, and they've been doing all of this for a very long time, if you believe them. But I think the proof is still in the pudding. We still need to see more companies adopt this beyond the lighthouses, beyond the ones that say, hey, we've been experimenting with this for a while, we've rolled this out. And I think it's the classic innovation management, innovation adoption dilemma. You have a few very early adopters, then there's a big gap, and then the rest will eventually follow. And I think once that happens, it'll be really interesting to see how that progresses. I think there's a lot of opportunity, and as I'm thinking about this, honestly, I'm split a little bit. How big is the opportunity, or how big is the promise to what is actually real? We've seen this with technologies like RPA, robotic process automation, a couple of years ago. We're going to automate everything in a business, and people started looking at this and they said, well, it's actually not that easy. No, we won't be able to do everything. So part of me thinks, well, are we going to see the same thing with agents as well? Is there just so much optimism and so much hype that we're not seeing beyond that yet? Have we not seen enough implementations yet? And maybe the truth is somewhere in the middle. But also here in North America, I think companies are slowly starting to look at this and figure out what is this actually, and how do I want to use this?
Yes, and also I think that we are like putting like boundaries to everything. No, I think we are also like in that moment like deciding what it's okay and what no. So we are like finding like the right way to do things with agents also.
And I was thinking about this the other day. On one hand, we see so much innovation come out on a regular basis. You mentioned a few of the things that were in the news just in January and February, from we're headed for AGI and we know exactly how to build it, to we are running out of public data to train on, to hey, here's this thing called DeepSeek and it's way cheaper than the Western models and incumbents, to I don't know what the next thing was, Grok, GPT 4.5, and so on and so on. So there's a whole range of news if you want to give into that. Yet I feel the adoption in companies will be a lot slower, because there are risks, there are concerns, there are skills you need to build. You want to try this out. So on some level, there's more technology than you can adopt fast enough to keep up, which is an interesting time to live in, I think, in many. Now you mentioned some of the headlines, and I'm curious. To me, it feels like the last 4 weeks. Yes, there was an NVIDIA GTC. Yes, there were a couple other things. But were there any big headlines that stand out to you? Maybe even from this first quarter that are relevant for business and AI teams.
Yes, I think that from different like aspects, like all the companies want to show us how good they are, or how important they are, or how they are the best. And I think that it's not like the scope or the vision that we have to do. We have to like center more like in people than in companies. And also this is mainly because people are going a little bit like slow in the adoption, as we were talking about, and having all the time like this like big tech like battle to say I'm the best. It doesn't matter who is the best. What does matter is what's best for people. So I think that also companies has to be a little bit more like humanized than they are now, like not trying to like in that battle for like who is the stronger or biggest or that. I think that from that aspect, my favorite like news of this week, it's like all the launches that OpenAI has given, mainly because I think they're the ones that are going a little bit more like far away in the capabilities of the model, in the more like deep search and making also agents to operate, because like what is the best answer or the best model now, I think it's like and not for now. And also I think that all the a product that I have been using a lot, it's like 𝗕𝗨𝗭𝗭 for also like making some automatizations, and I think they're like making a very good user experience interface for non-code. I think are like the most important launches of this month. I don't want to go much deeper like in the Grok or DeepSeek or Mural, that battle, because I think what they have been launched are all like quite the same and not very like innovative on that aspect. But I think that OpenAI with the agents and also 𝗕𝗨𝗭𝗭𝗪, I think they are the most like innovative right now. Although I know that in April we were having like Google Next, so they are going to launch Google is going to launch, I think, very important stuff for that event. So perhaps that surprise us a little bit.
Who knows, right? Seems like there are surprises all around us in this day and age with AI. Now, hey, we're getting close to the end of the show, and I was wondering if you can summarize the key 3 takeaways for our audience today.
Yes, so first of all, for all businesses that want to apply AI, you need a translator. You need a business AI translator in your company. You have to think of independent structures so everybody can create and develop AI inside the teams. Don't get confused with all the information that it's going out there. You have to center in what your company needs and what your culture needs, and develop long-term vision plans and not just 1 month AI implementation, because if not, you're going to get frustrated on the road. And once you want to get real big changes, you need to have very good long-term strategies.
Wonderful. Well, Camila, it was a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much for sharing your insights and your learnings of how business and AI leaders can work better together.
No, thank you. It was a pleasure to be here to tell you a little bit about how South America and Argentina is developing and strategies around AI. So it was a pleasure for me to share this space with you.
Thank you so much. Folks, to you in the audience, see you next time for another round of What's the Buzz. Bye-bye.